in public schools as a classroom teacher, an elementary principal, middle school principal, high school administrator, and a central office curriculum coordinator. He also taught undergraduate and graduate classes as an adjunct professor at Oregon State University. Yay!
Go be.
Gerry is married to his wife Lynn, a retired nurse and an ethicist, and they have 2 grown children. Jared, employed as a program analyst at the University of Wisconsin, and Julian, a software analyst with a biogenetics lab, Natera, in Portland. Gerry is the owner of a mobile DJ business and serves as the enforcement officer, expulsion hearings officer for the Greater Albany Public Schools. So he's not only an experienced educator, he's also the truant officer. District Governor Gerry Kosanovic, welcome.
So David, we're going to do my bit first, and then we'll get into announcements, I guess, right? Sounds good to me.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, it's an honor to be here. Thank you very much. My Assistant Governor, David Bassett, great. This is my 4th year as Assistant Governor, and for pulling this together. And it's really an honor to be your District Governor. I'm a member of the Rotary Club of Greater Corvallis, and I'll do a little bit of a bio. But I want to thank you all for your membership in Rotary. And I like to tell people, and I always start off by saying, you are Rotary. Rotary isn't your district governor, your assistant governor. It's not even the Rotary people that live in the building in Evanston, Illinois, and travel around supporting clubs, because that's what we do, and leadership is support you. This is where the membership is. This is where the money comes to the, flows to the foundation, and this is where the impact is for your communities at the local club. So thank you very much for your membership. So my talk to you today, this is the traditional district governor presentation, but I'm going to do it in a fun way, because I like to have fun, and I know that you guys are it's a fun group. I always appreciate when there's nice laughter and fellowship going on before a meeting that you really have to bang the bell twice to get people started, because that's a good sign that people are really engaged with one another. So my talk today is in 4 parts. First, I'm going to just give you a little Rotary 101, just to kind of make sure everybody's on the same page. Number 2 is to talk about myself a little bit, give you a little bit of a vocational understanding of how I got to be where I am. And number 3 is my 4 major goals for the year as a Rotarian, your district governor. And number 4 is I want to talk about the future of Rotary and how we all can be engaged in ensuring that we do have a future of Rotary. All right, so first off, you know that Rotary is a worldwide organization. We are all over the place, and Rotary is divided into zones. There's 34 different zones in the world, 535 districts, and 33,000 clubs. And the beauty of that, as a Rotarian, you can hit any one of these clubs in the world and become and be welcome. They'll welcome you with open arms. Come on in, they'll show you fellowship, and if you have any needs, they'll meet those needs for you. It's really incredible, the power of this great humanitarian organization that we're a part of. So understand that that's it. And by the way, there are clubs in Ukraine and Russia, but I wouldn't recommend going to either one of those places right now. Although I did hear that major corporations are pulling out of Russia these days, including McDonald's, and they just declared it a no-fry zone. Okay, I thought it was a humorous group. All right, anyway, of this.
Well, on the young thing, you did in good group.
I got more to do. Hey, we are District 27, which is in the north Zone 27 in the north, Zone 26 in the south, and we're known as the Big West. You see, it's all these. There's 30 different districts, and we are District 5110. As you can see, we take up most of Oregon, and 5100 is to the north of us. So in in our district, we have approximately 60 clubs, an E-club, and you can see you're all the way down here at Gold Beach. We have a little bit of California, and we go up to Lincoln City in the north. All right, now that's Rotary 101. So my vocational, I was born in Pennsylvania, in Meadville, Pennsylvania. If you look at Erie, right below Erie is a little town called Meadville. It's a small liberal arts college town. Allegheny College was there. And my mom had 6 kids. She had a boy in February, and then she had triplets in November. So she had 4 babies in 1 year, and I am one of a set of identical triplets. Now my brother Joe, this guy right here, is a Rotarian too, and I told him, with 60 clubs, how about you take 30 and present? Nobody will know the difference, and then you can present and just give me feedback on the clubs. Now that wouldn't pass the 4-way test, so we scuttled that idea. Anyway, we all entered first grade together and went through high school together. And when we got done with high school, my dad, who was a working class kind of guy, he said, okay boys, it's either college or work. What are you going to do? Or you can go in the military. And my dad was a working class kind of guy, not a college grad, neither was my mom. But he said, you go into the service and you do 4 years in the service, they'll give you a GI Bill and that'll be your ticket to college. So we said, great idea, Dad. Now he was a World War II veteran, as was 4 of his brothers. So every time I went to my grandparents' house, I saw my dad, who, as Tom Brokaw said, greatest generation ever. Their pictures are on the wall. And anyway, we graduated from high school, and in July, my brother Bob joined the Marines, I joined the Air Force, Jim joined the Army, and Joe joined the Navy. We had everything covered except the Air Force and the Coast Guard, or the Space Force now. Anyway, so the question is why? And this is a question that we always should be asking ourselves. Why are we doing these things? Why am I still a Rotarian? Why do I support this club? Fan that flame of passion that's with you. So the why I'm joining the military was not only my parents, my dad and his generation had served, but my dad raised us in a culture that you owe your country service. You owe your country the freedom and the independence that you have been given, so you have to give back in some fashion. He said, you don't have to join the military, but you should do something to give back to your country. Well, the GI Bill was a nice carrot hanging out for us, and we all took advantage of that. And he's quite proud. He was quite proud. He's passed. Both my parents have passed, but quite proud that all 4 of his boys were college graduates. Anyway, he moved us south to Pittsburgh, and he pretty much opened a white suburb down there. And I didn't see any black people at all in this suburb, but we used to listen to the Pittsburgh Pirates. This is the old Forbes Field before it was turned down. And we went there a couple times, sat in the cheap seats, with the rest of the crowd. But we listened on the back porch in the radio all the time. One of my favorite players was this guy right here. And a lot of you that have gray hair like me will recognize this guy, Roberto Clemente. Roberto Clemente was a fabulous ball player. And we never looked at him as anything other than that, just a ball player, even though he was black. He was from Puerto Rico, and this guy tragically died at 38, delivering humanitarian care to Nicaragua during their earthquake. He had 13 Golden Gloves in a row, playing right field for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Right after his 3,000th hit is when he died, so he's immortalized. Anyway, I found this quote later on, which really made me happy, because I said, this guy is a Rotarian, and he didn't even know it. And basically he says, if you make a difference in the world, you're not wasting your time. You're not wasting your time being Rotarians, because you're making a difference in the world. You're making a difference in your communities and globally, and you're growing internally too. All right, right after I got out of service, I went and became a Buckeye. That's the OSU, not just OSU. Anyway, I was a Buckeye. Well, living in Corvallis, I've got to give a dig to these guys.
You got another Ohio over here. She's in your corner.
Okay. Anyway, right after I graduated with an education degree at Ohio State, I went down and worked 3 years in Cincinnati. I taught in a junior high school that was right next to a public housing unit. 80 to 85% of my students were black. And that was it was a nice educative experience as well, because those kids and those parents taught me what it was like to live in poverty in an urban setting, which I had no experience. I used to go to the public housing, ride that old rickety elevator up to the floors to visit parents, and they were all almost exclusively in the corner of education is going to get you out of this poverty. So that was their frame of mind, even though they were in poverty. It was a great experience. Anyway, after that, I moved to Oregon, and I became a duck, all right? No booze, that's good. Okay.
Well,
I spent 4 years on campus, got a couple graduate degrees, and then I got my first job at South Eugene High School. I did an internship there, and the principal called me up late after the school year started. In September, he called me and he says, "I need an athletic director. Would you do that for me?" I said, I was a swimmer and a tennis player in high school. I don't know anything about being an athletic director. And he said, "You can organize things because you showed me that. You're a smart guy, so you showed me that. Why don't you just come and give it a try?" And I did. Now, the only thing that I really didn't understand was offside in soccer. I don't know if I really understand offside in soccer or even agree with it, because I say, let them play. Let them get up there and get that goal. Anyway, so while in Eugene, I married this woman right here, my wife Lynn, nurse anesthetist. I had Julian, firstborn, and then Jared, my 6'5" son, and that's his wife, Abby. He got married 3 years ago at the tender age of 24, and I'm thinking, what are you doing? But he got married. Anyway, in 1997, we were a young family. He was 3 years old at that time, and we moved to Corvallis. This was my sponsor. His name is Pete Kosanovic. I walked into a real estate office, and I asked for a realtor to show me around, and this guy came, and then he said, "I'll show you around, and I'll show you a house, and how about this? I'll take you to a Rotary meeting, too." I said, "Okay, that'd be great." Now, he said, the beautiful thing about taking you there is, I'm a Croatian, you're a Serbian, we're going to show that these two ethnic people don't have to kill themselves while they're eating lunch. So he became my sponsor, and really happy. Here's that why question again. Why did I join? I joined basically for selfish reasons. I wanted to be the Paul Harris of Corvallis, which is surround myself with the leaders and the shakers and the movers in town to leverage them to help the students at my school. That was it. I mean, it was really a selfish reason. I wanted to leverage their power and connections in town so I could have success for my students. But then I discovered the service of Rotary, and I became committed. I mean, it drew me in, and I've been with it ever since 1998. And the core values of Rotary were perfectly aligned with the core values that I had learned in the military. When Harry Truman in 1948, by executive order, integrated the armed forces, it was diversity before a lot of America was ready for that. Rotary has always stood for that. That's always been one of our core values, as well as service, leadership, integrity with the four-way test. So those core values became perfectly aligned with the culture that I was raised in, and that's why, and I'm sure that's the core values that you embrace as Rotarians. Okay, next is my 4 major goals as a district governor, as your district governor. And there's much more. Your club presidents have gone to Rotary Central, and they put more than one goal in, probably about 12, to be recognized for a presidential citation. These are the 4 main ones for me. Number 1 is membership. The only way we're going to grow is to add new members, because members leave, they move, they pass away, but membership always changes. We've got to keep growing as an organization to go into the future. And our Rotary International president, Shaker Mehta, he says, each one bring one. So he's challenging each of us, each one of you, to bring somebody to a service opportunity. You have this beach bingo thing going on here. You're going to be doing service projects. Bring your neighbor, bring somebody else, just so they can see the power of people of action. You don't have to recruit them. You're going to attract them to the power of Rotary that you do. And Rotary 101, this massive humanitarian organization that does good in the world. So do more to grow more to do more. We're all responsible for it, so if you have in your club a membership chair, consider yourself a member of that committee. Every Rotarian is a member of the membership committee. And this is what we're doing, by the way, worldwide. This is just as of, I got these February data. Worldwide, our membership has always hung around 1.2 million. Currently, it's 1.14 because the pandemic took a slide. District 5110, our district, took a slide. When I joined Rotary and became club president at Rotary Club of Corvallis, we had 86 members of that club and about 3,700 in the district. Well, you can see the district right now is 2964, but that's the good news. We are moving up. We're in the green, so we're moving up. We got 32 new members above where we were July 1st, and that's a good sign. I want to keep that going up. We should always have that incline going up for membership. My second major goal is polio. I don't need to tell you a lot about polio. We have survived as individuals through polio in the United States, and we don't have to worry about it. But two countries in the world still have wild polio, and we're working with Afghanistan and Pakistan to make sure that they zero out on polio. The good news is in those two countries, it's going in the right direction, especially Pakistan. Pakistan's been 398 days since the wild polio has surfaced in Pakistan. Now, if they keep that up for 3 years, they will be declared polio-free, just like all of Africa was declared polio-free in 2020. And we are quite proud of that. Nigeria was the last one. It was the last one, and then all of Africa, an entire continent polio-free. We've got Afghanistan and Pakistan. Now, Afghanistan has only had one wild polio case identified in 2022. The good news is, in spite of the war and the Taliban taking over and the horrendous humanitarian crisis that's there, provinces that used to be in Taliban control and off limits to the people on the ground, World Health Organization and volunteers giving inoculations, those were off limits at first, now they're open. So that's why we're getting in there, giving polio, and the Taliban is cooperating with that. So that's a good sign. So they're trying, they're trying their best to eradicate this disease, and I think within our lifetime it can happen. If you're not a member of the Polio Plus Society, I'd encourage you to join. It's a $100 commitment every year. Nobody's going to, bird dog you on that. It's on the honor system. But if you join, and a lot of people have, you become a member. You contact Nelson Mailer. He's our district Polio Plus coordinator. And he will send you a certificate and a little pin that you can wear to raise awareness to your friends and neighbors. It's only $100 a year, but we're moving in the right direction with polio. I want to brag a second about that 6'5" son of mine. Last summer, he rode from, you don't see it here, it's over here, Portland, Oregon to Washington, D.C. in 24 days, 3,500 miles, raising money for polio. He wore that jersey all the way. It was 117 degrees on June 27th when he left Portland. 117 degrees. That was a heat dome that hit up up in the north. Anyway, he raised awareness and money. He got in touch with Rotary International. They have at the foundation a place called Raise for Rotary, Links. So he set up his own fundraiser. He raised $6,000. Bill Gates and Melinda Gates Foundation matched that 2-to-1. So now it's $18,000. And this kid alone, at 60 cents an inoculation, raised enough money to give 30,000 polio inoculations around the world. Quite proud. Yeah, when your children do great things, it really is a great reflection on their mother. Anyway, the third major goal is the Rotary Foundation. You all know about the Rotary Foundation. Rotary Foundation is what we give to ensure that projects are done, both district grants and global grants. 2 years ago, this is 2020 data, 2 years ago we had 6 major areas of focus in the world. And these are the 6 major areas of focus in the world, and that's how much money went to each one of those areas of focus. That's the good in the world that you, as Rotarians, do. You can be quite proud of this going on. To continue that, we have one of the best foundations in the world. We have a corpus of over $1 billion, and Charity Navigators rates us one of the best in the world, the 5th best foundation in the entire globe. They have given us 4 stars 13 years in a row. So this is a foundation that does a lot of good. I'm asking every Rotarian, if you have not given yet, I want you to give a minimum $26.50. And that makes sure that everybody in your club is a foundation giver, and you'll be 100%. Every Rotarian every year. $26.50 is minimum. Why $26.50? That is the first donation that was given to the Rotary Foundation in 1917 when it was established by Arch Klump, and it was given by the Rotary Club of Kansas City. They had a convention, and that was their leftover money. When I have a celebration convention, if I'm in the plus, at least $26.50, I'll be a happy guy, and I'll give that to the foundation. So everybody, pony up that, $26.50. Now, you can give $26.50, or feel free to move that decimal point over and give $2.65. Keep moving that decimal point over as much as you want and feel comfortable with. The treasury that you have can do it. All right? A great way to give to the foundation is through the annual fund. That's the best way to give. And if you give $1,000 a year, you become or $1,000 total, you become a Paul Harris Fellow. If you give $1,000 a year, then you're a Paul Harris Society member. I'm a Paul Harris Society member. Is anybody here a Paul Harris Society member? There you go, a few. That means they give $1,000 a year. So $85 out of my credit card every month goes to the foundation. At the end of the year, that's $1,000. So you get a pin when you're a Paul Harris Fellow, and then you get a stone every time you give another $1,000. So and it's a great way to talk about the foundation and raise awareness of the foundation. Right now, the Rotary Foundation is asking people to contribute to the Disaster Response Fund. John Gerry is our Rotary Foundation chair, and he says from now until April 30th, temporarily we'll put all disaster response fund directed toward the Ukrainian crisis. Now, we in District 5110 are the recipients of two of those grants. They're $25,000 grants here that come every year. $25,000 grants that come every year, and these grants were provided to address the fires in southern Oregon and up around Eugene on the McKenzie River. So we were the recipient of these disaster response fund grants. If you got any money, go on the website for Rotary International to the Disaster Response Fund and give the money. Okay, the last major goal is service. Address community needs, engage your members of the community, and just bring them in. Continue to make an impact. You guys have a rich history of making an impact in the community. My wife and I were down here, and we stayed in Gold Beach. I think it was about 4 or 5 months ago, and we hiked around. Mike Hewitt and his wife were good enough to give my wife a bird calendar. She's a birder, so we went to the parks, and then we wanted to play Cape Blanco and have the clothes blown off our body. Man, it was so windy out there. I don't think a bird could take flight. Anyway, we enjoyed our time here, and then there's one hike we did. We saw it was established by Rotarians. So you'll see that all over the world. You go, you see parks and hiking trails and contributions and playgrounds that Rotarians contribute and make an impact in your community. So keep doing that. And the seventh area of focus, like I said, there were 6 areas of focus that we had for Rotary. July 1st, we have adopted the 7th area of focus, it's the environment. And what I'm asking as the district governor, and I'm working with Ricky Rizzardi, our environmental chair for the district, contribute and by just planting a tree. So if you have a yard, plant a tree, and you're going to help out. If you don't have a yard, plant a tree in your neighbor's yard. Do it in dark when you're not there, and they'll wake up and they'll go, whoa, there's a tree. Oh, we got a park and rec here. You can get a club tree and put that in the park. Okay, and my last major focus for this talk with you is about the future of Rotary, the future of our clubs, our district, our international organization. If you were here a couple years ago when Rick Olson came through, he asked you, what is your passion? What is the heart of your service? Because you should take that passion and bring it to the club and try to get other people. It's the power of one to make a difference in the world. If you've got a passion, bring it to your club and they'll work with it. Well, the Rotary International in 2020 established what they call the action plan. And that's really to bring your passions and talk about this. But this action plan is the first time that Rotary International has got a coordinated action plan that is it's a 5-year vision for the future. And this is what and I'm going to make this a little fun for you. What I want each one of you to do is embrace this, okay? We're going to talk about how you can do it at the club to make a little visioning session, but think about how you can embrace this action plan, both personally and as a club. And why do you want to do this? Well, if all the clubs, if we've got 33,000 clubs across the globe working on this action plan, and I've adopted this as a District 5110 action plan, we're going to reach the same place at the same time. We're all going to be rowing in that same direction, all right? And like I said, this action plan has 4 strategic priorities, and I'm going to get into that and tell you about each one. Now, this action plan starts out with this vision statement. If you don't have, as a Rotarian, an elevator speech, and somebody asks you, hey, what is Rotary? You can tell them this is a perfect little elevator speech. You can just say together, Rotarians, we see a world where people, us, all of us, make a difference. We take action, we unite, we take action, and we create lasting change. We create lasting change in our communities, across the globe, and in ourselves, because personal growth is something, and continuous learning is something that we don't shy away from. So this is a great vision statement for the action plan and a personal one for you. Now this vision plan contains 4 strategic priorities. And this is what I want you to embrace and think about in the future. Now to do that, you got to kind of wear it on your chest sometimes. So that's what I do, okay? So I try to color code this to wear it on my chest. But you can see the first one is increase our ability to adapt. You have to adapt as a club. I've attended about 34 club events so far. 4 of them have been on Zoom, but the rest have been like this, in person, and the majority of those in person have been hybrid. So those clubs have adapted, allowing people that can't come to a meeting like this to attend virtually with a Zoom meeting. And that's a great way to adapt. There are other ways to adapt too. And that's exactly what I want you to think about. Increase the ability to adapt as a club. And why do you need to do this? Because of the change in the world. Paul Harris said this back in 1935. If you're not changing in this changing place, we've got, we're going to stay still. The world is going to change right in front of us. So we have to be prepared to change the world. And there's a lot of changes going on right now. So these are kind of questions you can ask about adapting. How can you adapt faster to a changing world? What new perspectives can you bring to a club in terms of the adapting? And is there any new ideas we can bring? Always percolate those new ideas that are coming in and throw those out on the table. It doesn't mean they're all going to be great ideas. You can scrape a few of them away and then adopt a few, but always keep those new ideas going. The other is increase our impact. All right? You wear that on your chest too. Increase your impact as a club. How can you, what is the legacy of your individual clubs? What is the legacy of your individual contribution in Rotary? I told my son, he did 3,500 miles in 24 days for polio. I said, that is your legacy. You're not a Rotarian, but I'm making you an honorary Rotarian. I made him a Paul Harris Fellow. And I said, when we eradicate this disease, this virus, only the 2nd time in human history a virus has been eradicated after smallpox, it's part of your legacy. Jared, you can pull that in and keep it going. So what is your legacy? How do you define and measure the impact of your clubs? And how can you do more good in the world? That is the impact that I want you to have. The other is expanding your reach. There you go. Wear that on your chest. Expand the reach of the club. Everybody's got a club here. How can you share your values with new audiences out there? Is there anybody that has not been exposed to Rotary in Port Orford or Gold Beach or Brookings Harbor that may be a candidate for attracting to a club service project? Is there any new models you can put in place just to test to see if they're going to work, just so that people can experience the power of Rotary with people of action just as you? And you want to inspire people all the time. And last, and this is really one of the most important ones for me, is participant engagement. Everybody in Rotary needs to step up to the plate and participate in some fashion. And a lot of clubs have past precedents And, you know, I met a whole gaggle of them that walked in together, past presidents. Past presidents are one of my favorite group because these are people that committed to Rotary and they stay committed. They know the why. They know why they're there. They know the internal flame that keeps them going in Rotary to make an impact in the community. And so always enhance that participant engagement. Ensure that Rotarians find value in their membership. If somebody is not here that you think should be here, give them a call. That's how you can do that. And how can you improve the Rotary experience, this being a Rotarian with your club? New skills. We got a great website, and it's called Rotary International. It's My Rotary if you're on it. Anyway, there's a teaching and learning component on it that provides a wealth of modules for teaching and learning, so you can learn more about Rotary. And for example, young people may be a little shy about public speaking. We have partnered with Toastmasters International, so Toastmasters has put public speaking modules on there so they can learn how to be more confident getting in front of people. So that's a great way to get young professionals into the club by saying we can provide teaching and learning opportunities for you. All right? So what we want to do is take this priorities and take it into action. Each one of your club presidents have been provided with this sheet. And if you haven't done it yet, club presidents, distribute this to the club and have a little visioning process. Just you know, it doesn't have to be a big full day of visioning like the clubs have done in the past. This can be one meeting just like this, where you get together and you put quantifiable action steps to increase your impact as a club. Quantifiable action steps to expand your reach as a club. Look for each one of those quadrants and fill those in. Take time to do that and then talk about it as a club. You're bound to come up with one or two great ideas that you can move forward to grow Rotary to do more. All right? Now, my theme this year has been Step Up to the Plate. Step up to the plate, of course, is a baseball metaphor. If you're a member of the baseball team, you have to step up to the plate and take a bat, unless you're an American League pitcher, and then you don't. But that aside, baseball players have to step up to the plate. So Rotarians, you have to step up to the plate. There are leadership opportunities in your club, in the district, in the zone, internationally. You can step up to the plate, be ahead of the committee, take charge, work with people. Like I said, it takes the power of one to get things going sometimes. I've asked club presidents here to identify, I've been going around and identify one club member from each club that has done, is an inspiration for others, a role model who has stepped up to the plate. At Port Orford, I am happy to give the district governor Step Up to the Plate award to, make sure this is right, Teresa Hewitt. There you go. Congratulations. We'll get you later. Anyway, as the club president wrote that she stepped up to the plate to be treasurer for the club. She put together the website, ran the online auction, raised $5,000, stepped forward and runs the Zoom meetings. She's the chair of the Giving Tree Christmas program, and it goes on and on and on and on. And she's just been great. And like I said, gave my wife a burning calendar. So thank you and congratulations. Okay, for Gold Beach, it's my pleasure to give the district governor Step Up to the Plate award to one member, Denise King. Congratulations. Special recognition is she served as club for a number of years in a number of ways, including secretary duties for the board. That's stepping up to the plate. Secretary's sort of a hard job. Exemplary, consistent attendance at meetings and making financial to Rotary and Rotary causes. So Denise, congratulations for the Step Up to the Plate. If there's one from Brookings Harbor, I'll get that later. I didn't get that.
Yeah, you know, I don't know that I turned that in a timely manner, so my apologies.
I didn't get that yet, so sorry. Hey, I just put, this is kind of a fun thing too. I put Rotary candy on your tables. So from henceforth, from this moment on, when you see M&Ms, you're going to think Rotary candy. Why Rotary candy? M&Ms. M stands for membership. So every time you eat Rotary candy, you give that at Halloween, you think, ah, this is a Rotary membership candy. The other M stands for the foundation, which doesn't start with an M, but what does? Money. So membership and money, that is Rotary candy. So you can think about that. We're having a celebration in Corvallis. The 28th, we're going to golf. The 29th is the club assembly, and then the first ever street party. And then the 30th is going to be the celebration conference. So if you got some time, I apologize the jacked up motel prices. It is crazy. But if you can get a room or an Airbnb, you can go to Philomath or Albany, which are out, neighboring communities. They've got motel rooms there. But anyway, come and celebrate with us on those dates if you have an opportunity.
Is Harrisburg near there?
What's that?
Harrisburg?
Harrisburg? Yeah, I don't think there's any Harrisburg. Yeah, I mean, all those outlying communities do. I don't think Harrisburg has a hotel or a motel.
Oh, my cousin lives there.
Oh,
I'll stay with him
okay.
if it's...
Everybody, okay, get the address there, you're in your cousin's house. Hey, the pandemic's still with us here. You can see the vaccination rate, 65 in the United States, Oregon 68, down here in Curry County, only 55. That means that virus, that Omicron virus is still around. So be careful, all right? Mask up if you want. Don't mask shame anybody else that's going to be out in the stores and doing that. And I will certainly be wearing my mask in big gatherings. This is a nice, safe environment because I trust Rotarians more than other people. So I can unmask and be happy here. I just want to tell you too that in spite of it all, the last shirt I got was just to tell you we're all Rotarians, okay? We all carry that on our back. That shield, which is our logo. And when my son biked across country, I bought two bike jerseys. This was one, and he chose the polio one. So thank you very much for your time. Thanks for gathering here today. Thank you, Dave Bassett. Thank you.